Hey guys, we're 50 Plus Life 360 back with another video. Just letting you know that we survived tiny home living for one night. And it was fabulous. We really enjoyed ourselves. Our stay was lovely. The decor is fabulous. With the tweak or two, I may have just had the need because I'm such an organizational freak to just kind of change around things just a hair because um, I didn't want a chair to fall on my head in the middle of the night and they were stacked and I just felt like you didn't need to fight with the breakfast area to have breakfast in the morning. So yeah, we did a little tweaking,
Yeah,
but
if you remember our last video, these two stools were stacked on each other and they were sitting over here right by the bed. And this table was moved over to this side, and you had this whole entire cart that's right here. It was actually sitting right there.
but it didn't contain this DVD VCR combination with all of the DVDs and the little vacuum they have and all these electronics and all basically this is an entertainment cart other than the vacuum that is concealed well in here. So we basically just took this, took the cart, moved it over. I tweaked the way this was styled and I put the DVD VCR here and this, where before it was on this little stand. If he can pan over underneath the countertop area, you'll see this little stand is what the VCR and everything was, or DVD players was sitting on, and I felt like it was just a little bit like the person has beautiful taste and beautiful design style, but I think she just needed a little tweak, just a little.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we also, in doing this,
a little tweak.
she was able to get this counter section actually up,
Right.
and as opposed to just flop down. And that moving the stools here, now you've got a place to sit and eat your breakfast.
And look at the counter space we have, where they have now. They have giant counter space because we bought them an extension cord, and we moved the toaster oven over here instead of over there clogging up this counter space.
Yeah, you'll remember we talked
And
about that in the last video of utilizing that space there, and then you put the
the
cooktop.
cooktop right here, which it was underneath here, and you had to go through a whole motion of taking a bunch of stuff out of there
To get
in
to the
order to
cooktop.
get to the cooktop, and it was just too much frustration. So now we have no frustration. Look, you can just lift it here. You can lift it over here. Swing this around. Shift the mug and plug it in, and you're ready to cook. And you still have all this glorious space, and you've got this butcher block carving cutting board that came with the unit. I'm thinking back in its place, so you have the area to do your cooking and prep. Yes.
Yep.
So it just really made sense to us that they needed a little bit of a tweak, and I'm an organizational freak, so I just kind of had to do a little bit. So I'm sorry, guys, the people that own this place. Kudos to you for having such a beautiful place for us to stay, and lovely. The mattress sleeps like a dream, and we had a peaceful night's sleep.
Oh yeah, we had a great night's sleep. We got up
So
at 3 o'clock yesterday morning to get on this trip, and I was zonked at about 10 o'clock last night. So it was a good night's sleep. And we especially today want to shout out to Vivian at Vivian's Van Adventures.
yes,
She mentioned us yesterday in a video, and you guys have jumped on board with us. We had so many people come over and subscribe and start watching our videos and liking us. Our channel's just grown like crazy. And we cannot say how much we appreciate Vivian and how much we appreciate everyone. So, yep.
And I made her little vignette for a coffee bar here. I kind of shifted a little bit on the wall. Sorry, owner. I know that you're probably going to be watching this video, but I was just trying to help out. I know that you told me that things were a little bit still not the way you want them completely because of your time constraints when you were here, and this is a new Airbnb venture. So yeah, we helped out a little bit, I believe, and I hope you like our style that really, what's the word? That really goes with your style. Like it just fits together like peas and carrots or like glue. So.
Like peas and carrots,
Right.
Jenny.
Yes, exactly.
And I do want to say these units, to get back to sort of our review of these units are, I don't know if they're well insulated or it's just because they're so small, but we came in yesterday and we turned on that air conditioner because it was warm. Didn't take very long to cool the place off. We went out to dinner at a place Vivian recommended. It was the Sunset Grill. Was that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was, oh my gosh.
It was fabulous.
Over the top. It was like 5-star food with a very relaxed, more of a hip feel.
Yeah, so if you're in Newport, Tennessee, Sunset Grill's good. Debbie's driving. I know Vivian visits Debbie's all the time. We went there for lunch yesterday.
That was great as well.
And then we went to dinner at the Sunset Grill, and it was all amazing.
Vivian has great taste.
Oh, yeah.
I just knew that she was going to have fabulous taste. So anything that she recommended, I was going to definitely do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we tried to get her to go dinner with us, but she was just feeling under the weather, and we feel bad about that. But
And we are still praying for her.
yeah, but I do want to say we went to dinner. We forgot to turn off the air conditioner. We came back. And the funny thing about these Tennessee mountains is the temperature changes so rapidly. It's uncanny. You can be outside and it's 44 degrees in one place, and you can drive 20 miles and it's 55, and you can drive another 10 miles and it's 70. And we were doing this. Came in last night and it was cold in here, and we were kind of chilly, but we put on this little space heater. It's over here, and I'm trying not to pan too fast to make you dizzy. That's a little Mainstays from Walmart, and that thing is...
It really puts out, doesn't it?
That is no taller than about 9 inches and no wider than about 6.
Perfect for tiny houses, but also I believe it's perfect for van life.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for Viv to put in the van and plug up to her Jackery
and her
solar
inverter.
Yeah, her inverter. But that thing we turned it on, and in 20 minutes we were like, oh, it's hot in here now. So we had to adjust the thermostat to cool it off a little bit. And then we had a fan. Tammy likes to sleep with a fan noise because she likes that white noise. And if you like white noise, check out our channel. We've got a white noise video that just plays a loop for 3 hours straight, or maybe it's 10 hours straight. But it's just a video of the beach with waves coming in and the sounds of the ocean. So it's good for sleeping and relaxing. But this is how she ended up. Tammy is somewhat of a designer, not studied as a designer, but watches a lot of design videos and figures out what goes where and functionality.
I watch Kenwoven. So if you guys are really struggling with where to put art on the wall or
lighting,
where to put your lamps to utilize design and just to make it functional and fabulous at the same time, Kenwoven channel on YouTube is amazing. We love her design tips, and I may have stole some of her hairstyle design because she does have about the same hairstyle as I do.
Yeah. And anyways, that was the night. Now, you did make the comment after just a few hours in here that this was just a little on the small side for us. Let
me make this clear. when there was chairs stacked in the ceiling, and when there was, like slightly disheveled cart with it had a picture on it with these things, and it was just so much stuff that it just made me kind of like, if you're a organizational person, you'll be like, oh no, and then you'll think about, well, what if I get in the bed and one of those stools falls when they're stacked over here. They were stacked in that corner right there with that lamp like this. And what if they have one of those mini earthquakes that they do have in the mountains sometimes, and it just falls on your head? That would not be good. So you know what? Now people that stay here can get right up out of bed. They can cook their breakfast right away, and they can come over here and sit straight down and enjoy their meal without having to take everything out and figure out where to put the cart, and then put the chairs in position. It was just like, now it feels more like it's functional.
Yeah.
Because she has the form. I don't know whether, forgive me, it may be the husband that's the designer, and the husband and wife, and they do have the form, but they didn't have the organization.
The function, somewhat.
Yeah, the function. They have some organization, but not all of it. So.
And the other thing about these tiny homes, and you've got to take little things like this into consideration, but when we were getting ready in the morning, it's sort of like, okay, what do? We're traveling, so we have a rather large toiletries bag, and in your bathroom, there's not really a lot of place to put your toiletry bag. And we had to basically put your toiletries out here. And of course, you don't have a sink in these bathrooms, in these Incrediboxes. And you have to brush your teeth and do all your sink stuff here in your kitchen. So you have to take that into consideration too. Do you get ready first and then start cooking breakfast, or do you cook breakfast and then you get ready?
Right.
Because you're going to use the sink. It's going to be piled up with dishes because there are no dishwashers in these units. So you've got to think that through every day and pretty much do the same thing every day.
And there's some other tweaks that I also did that I'd like to share, such as over here, we had just we had the broom with the broom straws up here, and so it didn't really make sense that you put any kind of food item here, and didn't make any sense at all. But on the other wall, they had this this rack over here that I think they were thinking about hanging utensils on, because there were a couple hooks right here, and instead they went with the utensil storage in the vase, which is beautiful. So I took the hooks off of here, and I brought the hooks over here, and I stuck it on. I moved these little magnetic brackets around and put these hooks on here, and created a whole organized area of their cleaning items. So it just works really well, doesn't it, dear?
Yeah, that's nice. And it keeps your bristles hanging off the floor, so you don't. That's a tip. She always gives me a hard time, but her parents taught her a long time ago, don't put your brooms bristle down, because you ruin your brooms.
Right.
So you want your brooms either bristle up, which they had, but if you had any food going on over here, it's not good, not healthy. But if you put your bristles down, these are hanging off the floor. And I don't think you can see that, but they are.
Yeah, and so they had two of these racks like this, these magnetic racks, which are really fabulous for this tiny home with all the metal walls. So I took one from here, and I decided, well, they really need something to hang their dish towel on. So I just put one right here, and I think that's fabulous, because there's some kind of shower access panel here that's not that attractive, even though they did do a great job of hiding it with the wallpaper. But just this gives it more of a final touch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and another thing about function we noticed today was like if you're you got your toiletries here, you're brushing your hair. The cool thing is you look right there, there's a mirror. So you just turn from here over to here and you can have a mirror to see, because you're not going to be able to have a mirror in here because you've got your window and then you've got all this stuff going on. I guess you could put a small mirror there, but it's kind of weird to have a mirror in the kitchen this small. So turning right there, you've got a mirror. So that's a good element right there. But overall, it's still a little small for two people. We did a lot of butt bumping and excuse me's. And the other
But I'm
thing,
sure people would get used to it if they're extremely organized, because that's what it takes to live in a tiny house, is extreme organization. And Mr. and Mrs. Owner, if you are watching this video, I do recommend highly that you would bring you a paper towel holder the next time you come by, because I moved your plant that you had down here on the counter in the same area where these paper towels, I moved it to here, or I moved the plant up there for more height and drama, and I put your paper towels right here in the corner, which is function. So yeah, just bring a paper towel holder, and I think you guys are good to go. Other than possibly, if it was my house, I would probably take all the privacy glass stuff down and go ahead and spend a few dollars on the wood mini blinds. Wood mini blinds would go great with a boho style, and I think if you could get them to match this butcher block, it would be wonderful. So
yeah, another thing, two more things I've got in my mind I want to mention. We are in a community near incredible tiny homes, and your neighbors you can see through the shears. There is a neighbor there. Right there is a neighbor. I mean, that's 10, 12 feet off your house. And then there's a street out here, and you've got neighbors across the street. And with these sheer...
they're beautiful.
They're beautiful, but at nighttime, there's a lot of street lights, and there's the other street. There's a lot of street lights and things, whatever you want, outdoor lighting that people use, and then they're in their homes.
Oh, and you're not too far from the factory that they work at nighttime, and they leave all those lights on inside of those windows that come down into
yeah, you can see through
here as well. So
there's the factory. You don't have to. You can see through the shears, but the factory's that black building back there, and those windows have all lights, and so at nighttime it's a little uncannily bright in here. It's not overwhelming, but it's probably a little more than you want to sleep comfortably. Now, I've got thick eyelashes, eyelids. But Tammy,
get it right
Tammy doesn't. So she gets bothered by at least a little bit of light. She likes it really dark to sleep. And then
if they decide they don't have the money to do the wood blinds right now, they can always just offer a few eye cover spa eye covers for this tiny house. So.
And then the other thing I will mention, and I'm going to embarrass myself here, but Vivian said we were funny, so I'm going to be funny. You see how short this ceiling is in this bathroom? We talked about this yesterday. You could probably clear a 6'2", 6'3" person in the shower, but having a short ceiling, and there is no fan in this bathroom. And you could have a fan, but you got your air conditioner here, which is you got to have. So you could have a window fan, but there's no fan. So if someone is here dropping a deuce, and you've got these nothing but shears covering, you've got all that
Ed Sheeran's.
You've got all that wonderful aroma confined in this small space. It's going to come out of this small space.
Yes, and you better be spraying and courtesy flushing.
Yeah, courtesy flushing and spraying and all that fun stuff. Because it'll, I'm just saying. And I wouldn't have shears anyway. I'd do something more solid here. I'd figure out some way of doing it just to keep it more private. So if you did have somebody over, because I'm telling you, this community, just this morning I was out packing up the vehicle. People are out walking around, going across the street to their neighbors. They are saying hi. They're walking their dogs.
Getting ready for work.
They're getting ready to go to work. Everybody's out talking to everybody. Maybe not right now. As soon as I say that, nobody's out.
Right.
But they were already earlier out and about, walking around.
Seems like a very social community.
It's a very social community, but it's also, I seem to find, just based on what I've seen, and I don't know, this may be an incorrect observation, but there are a lot of younger, more hippie type people and a lot of older retired type people. So you don't seem to have a lot of mix of in-betweens, like 30 to 40-year-olds that have their kids that are between, 2 years old to
probably because
19.
There's just not as many people that only have one child.
Right, and living tiny.
If you have one child, you could possibly live tiny. Well, I guess I've seen people live tiny with larger tiny homes.
Yeah.
With more children.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it seems like it's two sides of the spectrum community. It's the real younger folks and the older folks. And that's kind of what you would expect in this situation, because you've got younger people getting started and they don't want to spend a lot of money on housing. And the new philosophy nowadays is housing is, hard on the planet and all these things. But you also have the older community that's trying to retire and still have some money to live a little bit of life, because people are living longer. So that's the spectrum we see here.
Too bad they don't have a spot for Vivian in here, because this particular tiny home right here is the Incredibox, and in this size, it is $25,000.
Yeah.
So it's very affordable for people on a fixed income.
Yeah, but we also have to talk about key costs and things like that. So
true.
we'll talk about that in our video where we have toured the tiny homes here at Incredible Tiny Homes, but we
did find another community. We're going to Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I found when Googling another tiny home. Well, I don't know if it's a community or just the builders that are there. So we might check them out and see if we can tour. They require an appointment though, so I'm not sure with our limited schedule of 3 or 4 days there.
Yeah.
That we'll be able to, but we're going to try.
Yeah. So that's sort of our review. We like it. We enjoyed it. We had a good night. We made a few tweaks. Actually, she did.
And I would live in a tiny home after this. Like, now I know that you can live in a tiny home. You just have to be minimalist and extremely organized.
Yeah, and the only other challenging thing, and I thought about this last night before I went to bed, and I just remembered it, but I don't want to forget to mention. This is sort of a daybed type thing, right? Is that what that is?
Right.
Yeah. So the way it is laid in here and the way this room is, you sort of have to deal with the fact that I told Tammy last night when I was sleeping up against the outer wall there where the window is, where you see that happiness pillow. My head was over on the right-hand green, where the right-hand green pillow is. And I felt like I was sleeping in jail. But I was just kind of kidding about that. But here's the thing. If you're an old person and you have to get up at night and go to the potty
And there's two people
multiple times, and there's two people in the bed, it's like whoever's back there against the wall has to climb over the person that's up here in the front.
Or the person in front has to be the sleeper that's the lightest sleeper, so they can do what I did last night and just kind of
moved out of the way,
curl myself up so he could just have this amount of space down here to
get out.
Yes, get out around.
Unfortunately, I was thinking about that before we came over here, so I didn't drink a lot of soda or water or anything before bedtime. So I only had to get up one time.
But
as,
they say it's a full-size bed, and it really felt like a queen. So
yeah, it was roomy.
really
It was roomy.
impressive, you know.
We didn't bump each other. We didn't do anything like that. We had a really good night's sleep. My back feels a whole lot better now. I've been having some back and knee issues, and this morning they're gone. I told Tammy, when I get in those situations, I have to just switch sleeping. We have an extra bedroom in our house, and sometimes I'll just go in there and sleep a night or two, and it unkinks my back and it makes me feel better. And I did that last night. Now I noticed this morning some of the pain has gone down a little further. If you remember Forrest Gump, he says, "I got shot in my buttocks." Well, the pain has moved down to my buttocks, but it's not quite as bad. That's probably from just sitting in the car for several hours yesterday as we drove up here. But anyway, we're at 25 minutes.
Well, I want to mention one more thing before we get out of here. The water pressure is really good for a tiny home.
Yeah, at this community,
You know,
yeah, it's good
really
water
good.
pressure.
So I'm very impressed with the water pressure.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Considering you do have to
It's
wash
nice.
all your dishes by hand,
Since
I don't think we pointed out yesterday, but there's no dishwasher.
right. Well,
So
in most tiny homes, there's no dishwasher unless you have lots of cabinet space, which means that you would have to clog up your upper space with the upper cabinets.
yeah, now those park models on our other video where we were,
They had upper cabinets, didn't they?
yeah, but they also had little small dishwashers. So
And that worked out very well.
yeah, but those park models were 400 square feet, less than 400 square feet, and they were $100 and some thousand.
Right. And this is 25,000.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
you don't get all the decor. You have to fill this yourself with all the decor.
Yeah, it's what they
So-
call a plain vanilla box when you first buy them. So
Right.
it's up to you to do all this
And
decorating.
if you want the window air conditioner, you have to provide that yourself, and the heater, you know, and,
Yeah.
and all of the accessories and the bed and everything, you know.
But your living expenses will be way down. Your
Right.
utility bill will be way down. All those things. But anyway, we're going to close it out here. We're getting close to 30 minutes, and we're having trouble trying to keep videos at 20 minutes. So
Right.
anyway, we talk too much. But thank you all for coming over from Vivian's channel that did. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
And we
And
appreciate
if you're
Vivian.
our subscribers that we had before Viv, well, we've always had Viv, but never she never recommended us because we never met her. But if you're one of our subscribers, please consider subscribing to Vivian's Van Adventures channel. It's such a great channel, and she goes on some pretty neat adventures.
Yeah, and in her life in general is just an adventure.
Yeah, it is. Amazing.
But anyways, you guys take it easy.
And take the fast way home. Vroom, vroom.